Three cities in Kazakhstan are about to exceed the 1 million population mark. Karaganda, Aktobe and Shymkent have to catch up with Astana and Almaty on the social-economic development. At least, that is the task of the administration of the regional centers. These cities should be comfortable for life, with comfortable accommodation not only for locals but also for foreigners who are interested in Kazakhstan. Country's top leadership has set a goal to more cities in Kazakhstan to become more attractive in terms of both tourism and investment. Let's see what some Kazakh business publications wrote about it. Agglomeration is a point of growth. The Republican newspaper Kazakhstanskaya Pravda wrote an article about the urban development. The paper reported that presently the new territorial organization of Kazakhstan is being formed. It is demonstrated primarily in the faster growth of large cities. Currently, urban areas concentrate over a third of the total population. The largest of them are around Almaty and Shymkent. Astana, which is due to the rapid growth of the modern state policy aimed at increasing the role of the new capital in the settlement system, has not yet had enough time to form the development of a suburban zone. Promising agglomeration in the west of the republic are centered in the cities of Aktobe and Almaty. At the same time, Karaganda and the surrounding towns, satellite towns, villages, are capable to form a unified agglomeration near Astana. Kazakhstan needs cities with population over 1 million. The authorities seek to create more cities with a population over 1 million to increase the base of economic growth, Capital KZ reports. I think we need major agglomerations for the development of science. Almaty is approaching the 1.5 million mark. Astana approaches the million mark. We need a few more cities. I think it may be Shymkent, Aktobe, Karaganda and other cities where millions of people could live. This is our future. This was the message of the president at the anniversary forum of International Bolashak Scholarship in Astana. According to the president, these cities should be comfortable for living, with modernized housing services and utility systems and a developed culture of life. Generally, the idea of creating a city of 1 million people is not new. In particular, the head of Kazakhstan has already talked about it. In mid-September, he had a working visit to South Kazakhstan region, where he said that Shymkent can become the third largest metropolis in the country. The development of the two cities as planned, those are Astana and Almaty, but Shymkent could be another one, the president said. According to the master plan of Shymkent, approved by the government in 2012, the territory of the city will triple in the coming years. The population will reach 1 million people in 2015. According to the president, the issue of territorial development is one of the great importances for Kazakhstan. Our choice is the development of urban agglomerations as a powerful growth point. Long-term goal is the formation of agglomerations, megacities of world level, Astana at least up to 1 million. Another contender for the city of 1 million is Aktobe. Forbes Kazakhstan wrote about the city's plans. By 2040, Aktobe will become a mega city, read one of the headlines. According to the head of the Department of Architecture and Urban Planning of the region, Nurlan Burambayev, the general plan of Aktobe was approved in 2006, but the decision to change the general plan was adopted in connection with population growth and plans to build million cities. The new general plans were developed with deadlines until 2030. In this period, according to estimates, the city's population expected to grow from 398,000 people in 2011 to 625,000. According to the concept, by 2040, the city's population will reach 1 million. According to the director of Grad Complex, Nubek Auzhanov, development potential of the city allows the construction industry to move from extensive to modern construction. Aktobe will become a modern, high-rise city, respective to the plans for agglomeration development. The area of the city will rise to 71,708 hectares. Now it is 27,600 hectares. The city shall be connected by one highway around it in order for cargo trucks to bypass the city traffic. It is also planned to move the railway station in the Moscow district, where a large business center, Moscow City, will be erected. Kazakhstan and the Bahamas have established diplomatic relations, the Kazakh Foreign Ministry reported. Exchange of diplomatic notes took place during the visit of Kazakhstan ambassador to Canada Konstantin Zhigalov to the capital of Bahamas, Nassau, where he held talks with the foreign, investment and tourism departments of the country. Kazakhstan Today reported that representatives of Kazakhstan and the Bahamas expressed mutual interest in the development of bilateral partnership in various fields during the meeting of Ambassador Zhigalov with the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Immigration of the Bahamas, Mr. Mitchell, said the article. Forbes Kazakhstan reported that Kazakh grain will be delivered through Egypt to the countries of the Persian Gulf and Africa, according to the report by Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Arab Republic of Egypt in Kazakhstan, Haytham Kamel Ibrahim Salah. The relations between our countries are developing at a high level. As evidence of this was the visit of the Minister of Economy and Trade of Egypt in Astana. Construction of terminal in the Egyptian city of Damietta for grain storage and international logistics center can be attributed to the positive results of this visit. This center aims to provide grain to the Middle East, the Persian Gulf, and Africa. At the same time, it will create new export opportunities for Kazakhstan. According to him, before the delivery of grain to the markets of these countries, it was very expensive for Kazakhstan due to the large distance, but with the opening of the new center, cooperation between the two countries will expand. The International Logistics Center will be located in an area of 3,100,000 square meters, and the cost of the project is $2.5 billion. At the initial stage, it can store up to 7.5 million tons of grain per year, and in the future, its capacity will be 65 million tons of grain. Cursive reported that employers will build affordable housing in conjunction with the state in mono-cities and villages. This was announced by the Deputy Minister of National Economy, Karbek Uskenbaev. Under this program, we also provide affordable housing for rent with an option to buy out separately for the villages. But we will be listening to the employers. In the village, there are usually 2-3 farms. They attract specialists, but there is no housing. We provide co-financing within the same program to employers so they together could build housing. According to Uskenbaev, the experience of the farm Rodina has been studied by the Minister for this purpose. The same mechanism will be implemented in mono-cities. We have a big program, in the framework of Forest Industrial Innovative Development of Kazakhstan. Now the construction of large plants is being executed, and here we are also working with employers. 180 billion Kazakh tenge was allocated for additional funding for the construction of rental housing from the National Fund. At the expense of own and borrowed funds, we want to increase this program to $150 billion. Generally, it can be increased further. We tell employers our terms. They must also bear social responsibility because someone has to work on their plants. Build at their own expense, not to use the funds of the National Fund. Once you build it, we will refund your money. We will continue to build relationships with rental housing residents too. The development program included in the address of the President of Kazakhstan gives reason to believe that Kazakhstan will, with honor, will stand through the test of crisis and the global test of maturity. In a special opinion today, Doctor of Physical and Mathematical Sciences, Professor, Vice Rector of the Academy of Management under the President of the Republic of Belarus, Igor Goncharenok. The modern states are awaiting times of global trials. The whole architecture of the world will change. As noted in the address of the President, not all countries will be able to pass through this difficult stage adequately. Only strong states and nations will pass this milestone. The program of further development included in the address gives reason to believe that Kazakhstan with honor will stand through the difficulties and pass the global test of maturity. According to the professor, taking into account the new external risks for economic development, the address contains an actual list of measures to stimulate economic activity and employment designated in the Plan of Infrastructure Development for the next 5 years. It is not a strategic outlook anymore, but a concrete action plan, which has an overall investment portfolio of 6 trillion Kazakh tenge. The use of the National Fund is a timely measure. The presence of these material resources shows the effectiveness of state regulatory approaches to solving systemic problems of the national economy previously developed in Kazakhstan. The base, which is the consolidation of society around the state as the major owner and the manager that can implement these functions and demonstrate its potential in the context of achieving high macroeconomic indicators. He then noted that despite the complexity of the economic situation in the world, the President of Kazakhstan guarantees the continuation of the implementation of social programs, the further development of the education sector, the strengthening of housing and social infrastructure.